Greetings everyone! Among the 10 global issues that we chose is the malnourishment and the hunger. This issue is very biggest problem not just in Philippines but worldwide. That's why it is considered as a global issue. Now, let's talk about malnourishment and hunger. It is very common that the hunger is a body signal that it needs food. Every one of us experienced hunger, not just poor people, but also rich people, because it tells our brain that our stomach is empty. Now, let's talk about malnourishment. Malnourishment means lack of nutrients needed for proper health and development. This very affected poor people because they cannot eat on time. They don't have proper healthy diet and the proper development. Now the questions. Based on the top 10 global issues and 17 Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs, choose one global issue or SDG and give suggestions on what schools must do to address the issue. Another question. What measures has the Philippine government taken to ensure equitable education for all its citizens?
Enable to ensure equitable access of education for all citizens. First, Enhanced Basic Education Act, or known as the K-12 Law. It was signed. The Philippines has finally embarked on its most groundbreaking change to the schooling system in decades. Second, Alternative Learning System, or what we call ALS. Alternative Learning System, or what we call ALS, is to ensure that the country provides a quality education that is accessible to all and relevant for the needs of the nation. The third is Education for All, or what we call EFA. The Education for All, or what we call EFA, is to ensure that all Filipino were able to achieve what UNESCO said, the functional literacy. It is the ability to read, to write, and do calculation at a level that is sufficient for the country. Now, we will discuss the Philippine government programs for the issue of malnourishment and hunger. The first program is the Malnutrition Reduction, or what we call MRP. The Malnutrition Reduction Program, or under MRP, is based complementary foods for 6 months to below 3 years old children and nutrition education among mothers and caregivers. The second program, Guidelines for Acute Malnutrition for Children under 5 years old. There are also an ecosystem law. First is Milk Code, and the second is Republic Act 8976. And the third is Republic Act 11037.
So in response on the hunger issue in the Philippines, many organizations have focused and shown interest in improving the conditions in the Philippines through the various programs and projects. So here are the 5 organizations that have stepped up to address hunger issue in our country. So number 1 is the Action Against Hunger. So this is an organization that has worked in the Philippines since 2000. Since then, it has aided a total of 302,014 Filipinos in poverty to improve various aspects of their daily lives. So, Action Against Hunger also focuses on community-led initiatives within the areas affected by the armed conflicts and natural disasters. Number 2 organization is the World Food Program. So it tackles hunger in the Philippines with an emphasis on rebuilding communities. For example, its food and cash assistance programs provide aid in exchange for participation in vocational skill training and asset creation activities. So one of their major program is the Fill the Nutrient Gap. So it aims to address malnutrition among children, which can cause health issues like stunted growth. So number 3 is the Feed the Children. So Feed the Children's battled hunger in the Philippines since 1984. So through the use of their program, which is child-focused community development, so the organization helps children overcome both short-term and long-term hunger issues. So a CFCD is an approach works with vulnerable and at-risk children as well as their caregivers and community. So number 4 is the Rise Against Hunger Philippines. So it also has a primary goal is to provide packaged meals and facilitate shipments of donated products like medical supplies, water, and food. So the last organization is the Food for the Hunger. So FH has focused on the long-term developmental programs. So these are to create opportunities for improved nutrition and poverty reduction. To create a foundation for self-sufficiency, Food for the Hungry employs a 4-phase community development plan in the Filipino communities.
And the last question, go over to K-12 curriculum guide. Find out where these global issues and SDGs are integrated.
In the K-12 curriculum guide and SDGs, where do hunger and malnutrition can be integrated? As we look in our K-12 curriculum guide, we can find out and see that there are lots of topics that this hunger and malnutrition can be integrated. For grade 1, it is about helpful and less helpful foods such as water and milk versus soft drink, vegetable and fruits versus salty, processed food and sweets. And for grade 2, good nutrition and health, concept of malnutrition, forms of malnutrition, protein energy malnutrition, micronutrient deficiencies, and overweight and obesity. And for grade 7, nutrition problem of adolescents, so such as malnutrition and micronutrient deficiency and eating disorder. These are few to mention as areas or topic that can be integrated, but we think that this is the most equipped for a chosen topic, which is hunger and malnutrition. This will end our topic by saying, when a poor person dies of hunger, it does not happen because God did not take care of him or her. It has happened that neither you or I wanted to give that person what he or she needed, by Mother Teresa.